Hi, I'm Simon Harris. My work is called NAIAD. The Naiads were minor goddesses from Greek mythology. They were water nymphs. They lived in bodies of fresh water, streams, ponds, lakes, rivers. And their job was to mind the health of the body of water, but also to take care of the flora and fauna in their environment. So they were kind of the first eco-warriors. So having the work in a garden, especially at Eden Gardens where there are so many different little environments and nooks and crannies, it was lovely to have something that relates to the environment. So it's not just a piece of art that sits there in a vacuum. It actually is in a place that makes sense with the sculpture. So my Naiad is situated at the top of the stream near the waterfall, and she's in her own little piece of land nestled between other rocks and in front of the stream. So it makes so much sense for that subject matter to be in an actual environment where she can represent her true function and purpose. What's interesting about the way I've created this sculpture is I normally only work in drawings, graphite on paper. They're pretty big. I normally work about a metre high by 1.5 metres. I've done very little sculpture. I've only done 2 other sculptures. My first one was a little alabaster carving, and the second one was a marble carving about this big, both of human forms. So to go big, larger than life size, was a real challenge. Really interesting for me to have something I can literally walk around. And the challenge was to create a figure from rocks, or they appear to be rocks. They're actually made from a kind of sculpting cement. So the challenge is getting the mass of the stones, but arranging them in a way that looks casual, so that they don't just look like a pile of dead rocks. I wanted them to look like they had life and they were just kind of casually placed there. The logistics of working on this big scale is something that I've never had to experience before. What I'm hoping is going to happen with people walking past, I'm hoping they're going to not notice her to start with, that they'll think it's just a pile of rocks. And I'm kind of expecting them to then notice the head, which is balanced kind of just past the point of tipping. And I'm hoping people are going to kind of look at it and go, whoa, what's happening there? That's weird. And then they'll notice the whole figure. And then hopefully they'll just spend a few moments just thinking about how the rocks are kind of sentinels in the environment. And it's the same, any landscape anywhere in the world has rocks, and they just stand guard silently over the landscape. So I'd like them to think about that, because rocks are actually quite sacred, and they're quite underappreciated in terms of the natural environment. I know that indigenous populations have a great feel for rocks. So I'm hoping that people walking past will just think more about the persona or the kind of feel that rocks give an environment.